You're listening to the Why Boarding School podcast, broadcasting around the world. Join us as we promote independent boarding schools throughout the United States and Canada with our invited guests. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jeffrey Quebec.
Welcome to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and today I'm joined by the Director of Admission at Millbrook School in Millbrook, New York, Meghan Grover. Welcome, Meg. It's great to have you here today.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you so much for having me.
Millbrook School's history dates back to its establishment in 1931 during the Great Depression. This began with the purchase of a farm in Stamford, New York. The school has the unique distinction of having the Trevor Zoo, the only zoo in the United States that is located inside of a high school. The zoo was founded in 1936 by the first biology teacher at the school. While Millbrook originally was an all-boys school, the school became coeducational when they began admitting girls as day students and then eventually boarding students in 1975. Meg, perhaps you can start off by giving our audience a brief overview of the number of students at Millbrook School, the grades you offer, where the students come from, etc.
Sure, yes. So Millbrook School, we have 330 students. They come from about 26 different states and roughly 17 different countries on average each year. And it's just about a 50-50 split, male and female.
And Meg, what grades is it that you're offering?
Grades, we have grades 9 through 12, and we do offer a postgraduate year as well, though it is a slightly smaller postgraduate program than some of our pure boarding schools.
Great. And so what is the academic curriculum like at Millbrook School?
Yeah, we describe our curriculum as a traditional American pre-college curriculum, right? And so our goal over 4 years or 3 years that a student might spend with us is to set them up with the most options in the college process they could possibly have, and to be competitive at the most rigorous and the best fit schools for them. We do have some academic supports available as well for students maybe who come with a diagnosed learning difference to campus. But they will follow that traditional pre-college curriculum, language, math, science, etc.
So with regard to that, can you talk a little bit about the academic support which is offered through the Calhoun Academic Center?
Yeah, exactly. And exactly well pronounced, Jeff. So thank you. So the Calhoun Academic Center is an amazing resource, and what it offers is one-to-one support for our students. I'd say most semesters, about 28% of our student body are working regularly at the Academic Center. Now, format-wise, these sessions are 35 minutes long. They occur during a student's free block, or it'll take up half of that student's free block. And they can meet at the Academic Center between 1 and 3 times per week. And those sessions are one-to-one with a faculty member whose full-time dedication is to the Academic Center and is to working with students one-on-one, supporting them with skill building, maybe a little bit of repetition or a second look at a different look or a different approach to the material, and really just helping those students move through the content of the courses they are currently in. But again, the focus is not just on getting that homework done by the end of that 35-minute session. The focus is on making sure the student has the skills, the organization to get through that homework assignment and any other homework assignments, right, that they may have in that class or in other classes throughout that day or that week. Sessions can be strictly content focused, math specialized, science specialized, language specialized, or they can be strictly executive functioning, so organizational support, planning ahead, breaking assignments down. But I would say that every session is going to include some level of executive functioning. And the last thing I will say is I think the real beauty of this program, it fits right into the academic day. You don't have to stay late or get up early. You don't miss anything. And These the faculty who staff the Calhoun Academic Center are full-time faculty at Millbrook School. And so this is not a tutor that is functioning outside of Millbrook's curriculum. They know our curriculum through and through, and so the questions that they ask are really pointed, and we can really help the kids in terms of organization. And so when that U.S. history term paper comes around and an 11th grader is not super stressed and says, no, I don't have anything coming up at the end of the week. Well, our faculty at the Calhoun Academic Center actually know that a major draft of that paper is due at the end of the week and can prompt, right? And so because it's all internal, the communication is regular and daily. Actually, every day we get a note as the advisor and classroom teacher of those students at the academic center. It's working really holistically and cohesive. So it's actually helping kids develop skills and not just get through the homework that night.
What a wonderful opportunity for those students to receive that one-on-one support. It's pretty impressive.
It's awesome. It's great. It's a really well-designed program.
Can you tell me a little bit about the visual and performing arts offerings at Millbrook?
Sure. I think, so one of the things we talk about at Millbrook is that everything is built to scale and to size, right? But for 330 students, that you have these enormous opportunities available to you. The one place where I feel that we're a little bit out of scale is our arts program. And that's in a really favorable way for Millbrook students who are interested in the arts. Our arts program is huge, I think, especially in comparison to having 330 students. So we have 7 full-time faculty members, an 8th part-time faculty member who support our arts program. We have over 30 classes that you can take during the academic day. There are arts offerings in the afternoon sessions, right? So during extracurriculars. You do not have to play a team sport in every season at Millbrook, and you can spend at least 2, if not 3 seasons fully into the arts every year. So between dance and theater and musical theater, we have tons of great offerings in the afternoon, in addition to those 30 academic classes. We have 7 core disciplines that we teach across the arts, and we approach the arts. This is something that I love about our program, and a reason why I think that program really has some teeth and has some legs to it is that we really look at the arts not just as this survey. Oh, try painting and then you can try ceramics. You can approach it as a survey and try lots of different disciplines. Or if you find a discipline that you're really invested in before Millbrook or when you arrive at Millbrook, we think of our curriculum in the same way that we think of an English curriculum, that there are skills that you are building in each of those disciplines that can level up year after year. And that's where the program is truly inexhaustible. You can take classes in photography and never exhaust them over 4 years, or again, you can kind of take that survey approach and just sort of hit the intro level of all those different disciplines. And so it just creates an experience that's really... it's serious, it's intentional, and kids, it is the number one thing kids say. What has surprised you about your experience at Millbrook? The number one response is usually in that arts arena, a newfound passion or skill.
So with such a robust arts program, does that mean you have students who are looking to pursue it at the next level and working on portfolios, et cetera?
Absolutely. Yep. So, and faculty members in our arts department support our students in building their portfolios. And typically that occurs end of the junior year and fall of the senior year here on campus. Now, so one of the cool things that we can provide for kids too is pathways through our arts curriculum. So if you have a really specialized, so the kids wanting to study at the secondary level, right, the university level, oftentimes there is an interest in maybe fashion or filmmaking, and we have the ability to create pathways for those kids through our traditional curriculum, and that will set them up with a portfolio. So if you're trying to do a film major, right, you have a portfolio that shows that you can do sort of drawing boards, that you understand light and sound, in a basic photography way as well as in filmmaking, that you understand 3D design and costumes and sort of how sort of visually things will come together in a 3-dimensional way as well as 2-dimensional. So again, it helps kids build these really authentic and intentional depth, portfolios with real depth in them for those specific niche interests. I would say most years our senior class, somewhere around 90 students in the senior class. You have probably, I would bet, between 2 and 5 of those kids attending a specialized arts program. It could be at NYU Tisch. We have a young man who's studying there this year as a freshman, or it could be, RISD, Rhode Island School of Design.
Well, it's very nice. Nice that they're getting not only that strong foundation to find out what they like or maybe what they don't like, but also to have that help with the portfolio, which is so important as you're applying to those schools.
Yeah.
So how about, Meg, how about athletics? You referenced earlier the requirements. Perhaps you can share with our audience, what are some of the athletic offerings at Millbrook?
Sure. Yeah. So Millbrook is we have a full. So one of the things that we love about, again, our scale, our size, 330 students, and we have a full and significant offering of athletics in the afternoons. So varsity, JV, and in some sports even a thirds or instructional level below that. And so I think we have offerings for every level of athlete. Our most competitive athletes, we have college-bound kids on every varsity team in every season, which is really exciting that you get to see some of the best athletes in the country competing here at Millbrook School. So each season we have roughly 15 offerings in terms of, and that doesn't even include the teams within those offerings, so different types of sports. And there are some athletic but non-competitive offerings as well. So recreational rackets, where you really learn how to play racket sports, like squash, maybe that you've never been exposed to before. And then you have, varsity soccer and JV thirds and fourth soccer as well. And that variety of offerings is available in all 3 seasons. So unique highlights. One is we do have a horseback riding program here. It is not physically on campus, but it is something that's available locally. So that's pretty unique that we have. You really have to be a certain type of rider to be a good fit for it. But for those kids, it's a great match. And then the rest, we have all the football, soccer, baseball, lacrosse, ice hockey, basketball, squash, tennis, all the great golf, great boarding school sports.
Very nice. Go Mustangs, right?
Yes, exactly. The Mustangs. Yes.
Awesome. So Meg, what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation talking about the Millbrook School in Millbrook, New York.
Do you have any questions or guests that you'd like to see on an upcoming Why Boarding School podcast? You can contact us directly through our website at whyboardingschool.com. Now, back to our show.
Welcome back to the Why Boarding School podcast. I'm Jeff Quebec, and today I'm joined by the Director of Admission at Millbrook School in Millbrook, New York, Meg Grover. Meg, perhaps you could share with our audience, what is a typical school day like at Millbrook School?
Absolutely. We value sleep here at Millbrook, so we are very proud to have an 8:30 start time, a little bit later than many peer schools and certainly than your local public school. And the best part is that you can get up 10 minutes before class and roll right into the classroom because you live right across the quad from it. So 8:30 start time, you get to sleep in on Wednesdays as well. And then the class day ends at 3:15. We have 4 academic blocks on each of our full academic days. Those are Monday, Tuesday, we do a half day on Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday are also full days. So 4 academic blocks, each block is 70 minutes long, and in between each academic block is what we call a brain break. So it might be an all-school assembly. We do 2 all-school assemblies every week. It could be an advisor meeting or a lunch block. And we also are really proud to offer 4 30-minute office hour blocks every afternoon. And so those are after lunch at 1:30, right before your last class of the day. During office hours, it's where you can access your teachers for questions. They'll be sitting in their offices or their classrooms ready and available for you. And that time is really, truly sacred. People don't schedule meetings during that time. Your teachers are always going to be there and be there for you. And then we do have that half day on Wednesdays. Many of the boarding schools in our area follow this model. 2 class blocks, lunch block, and then on those Wednesdays, our athletic teams play their games. So on campus or maybe hopping on a bus and driving, 45 minutes to one of our peer schools for a game. The other thing I'll mention is we have a 6-day schedule. So we do offer, we do have a program on Saturdays. So our Saturday program is not academic programming, right? You are not taking a physics class. You don't have to be in class dress. Our Saturday curriculum is all about our social emotional curriculum and our values-based curriculum here at Millbrook. And so what I mean by that, I'll take our 9th grade, and the other part of it is that there's a different curriculum for each class year. So 9th, 10th, 11th, it really evolves to where you are in your moment in your life and in your moment at Millbrook School. And so our ninth grade curriculum is the best example. So for example, the social emotional component is really about where am I, right? Helping you acclimate to boarding school, to Millbrook School, to living away from home, so many of to high school, right? And so many of the sort of newness of the experience that you have in that year. So really answering that question, where am I? And then the values-based curriculum in the ninth grade is related to location, but it is really about stewardship of the natural world. So Millbrook has 5 core values: respect, integrity, stewardship, curiosity, and community service, excuse me. And so we hit each of those values in different ways during that Saturday program. I will also add too that in your end of your junior year and during your senior year, a lot of that Saturday program is concerned with the college process, whether you're getting off campus to do school visits or doing some essay workshops, doing some interview workshops, getting through your Naviance account. You get a lot of really great support in the upper forms from our college office during that time.
So Meg, in addition to the Saturday program, can you share with our audience what else takes place on the weekend? Are there different activities on campus or clubs that meet or perhaps trips off campus?
Sure. Huge point of pride at Millbrook is that we are 90% boarding in our community. And that's really important to us because what that means is that this is a vibrant community, morning, noon, and night, on a Tuesday at 10 a.m. as much as it is on a Saturday at 10 p.m. The kids are here. There's a wide variety of kids here, and there's always things to do and things going on. So Saturday morning, you have it's 9:30 start time. You'll be done about 11:45, and then you will grab a quick lunch and head off to your extracurricular commitment, which will likely be a game. When you're done with your game, probably go. Usually there is kind of a marquee varsity team competing every evening, in that 4 to 6 p.m. slot, and so you can roll on over to another game, go support your friends. Usually around dinner time, all the formal commitments will be done for the day. If your parents have come up to visit, you can grab some dinner with them, bring your roommates with you. We have a beautiful dinner in the dining hall every night, 7 nights a week. And then we'll have activities happening probably around 8 p.m. And all the way through about 11 p.m. So there'll be on-campus activities, off-campus activities. We always try to have a range of, I would talk about sort of high-energy things like all-school dances and karaoke nights, and then lower energy things. We have this beautiful 330-seat theater with a massive screen, and you can, rent the new Barbie movie or whatever is hot in the theaters, and do the Amazon rental and get sort of screen that just right over in Holbrook Theater, which is pretty fun and great way to catch a new movie while you're right here on campus. Off campus, we are in the beautiful Hudson Valley, so about 2 hours outside of New York City. Sometimes we'll do some trips into the city. Sometimes we'll do some ski trips up to the mountains that are about 30, 45 minutes from campus here. Whatever the season brings locally, we go out and enjoy. So whether that's beautiful dinners or movie nights in towns that are local, or maybe apple picking, pumpkin picking in the fall, skiing in the winter, as I mentioned, there's all kinds of really fun things to do around here.
Certainly does seem like a lot of fun. Tons of activities to do.
Yep. And again, the most important part, kids are around. Like the people, your friends are here, right? And so even if it is just eating some leftover pizza in the dorm, I actually would be willing to bet, and as a boarding school graduate myself, those are the memories that you will take away and hold more dearly than the laser tag blow up inflatable monstrosity that was on the quad that you were hanging out in the hour before.
So true. So Meg, earlier I referenced how a zoo was founded on campus in 1936. And so it's a very unique distinction. Perhaps you can share with our audience and describe how that works and the sort of unique feature of having a zoo on campus.
Sure. Yes, it is. Well, I think so. One of the really cool things about boarding schools in general is that every school, just about every school, has something that's really distinctive and unique to them. And it could be their program, right? Or it could be physically where they're located. Every school has something pretty cool under the hood once you start looking. But within the world of unique and distinctive characteristics in a school, the zoo, the Trevor Lovejoy Zoo at Millbrook School is the most distinctive that you can find. And a point of pride for us is that it is it is always going to be part of the experience for every Millbrook student. I mean, that's part of our mission, our values, our goal. So again, those service and stewardship being two of our core values, the zoo helps us really deliver on those values and through real hands-on experiences for every single kid. So every new student will spend one season working at the zoo through our community service program. And as I mentioned, that community service is a block actually during the academic day. It's about 20 minutes to 30 minutes long, and it meets 4 times a week. So anyways, so the zoo, we have almost 200 animals in the collection, 9 endangered species, and 80 different species overall. So this is a real live working zoo. We are AZA accredited. That is the national accreditation body and overseeing body for zoos and aquariums across the United States. It might be across North America. And it's a really big deal to have an AZA accreditation. It means that everything that we are doing is at the highest standard in terms of animal care, sciences, and with our endangered species survival programs. And so there's actual breeding that is happening over at the Trevor Zoo, whether it's with the red pandas or with the ring-tailed lemurs, with these endangered and a couple of threatened species as well. So for every student, I would say, every student, no matter what your interest level in the natural world, sciences, animal sciences is, the experience at the Trevor Zoo has value because it's going to teach you about service, right? Giving to something other than yourself. What better way to serve and to understand that type of responsibility than to have to feed a defenseless animal that doesn't care that you're tired from your game last night, that actually needs a meal at 10 a.m. the next day, right? Or the stewardship, right? And so important to us here at Millbrook that our students understand the impact that human beings are having on the natural world. And what better way to learn that than with endangered species that you are caring for and learning about right in front of you. And then for those kids who have interest in animal sciences, medical sciences, whether that's veterinary science or even human medical sciences, there's some really incredible opportunities because there are real life animals that are being cared for. We have vets visiting campus every week to care for different groups of animals. There's some really unbelievable hands-on mentorship experiences and research opportunities as well.
How cool, and certainly what an awesome opportunity for these students at Millbrook. Pretty impressive.
It's really, really cool, and again, about as distinctive and unique as you can get in the land of schools.
And Meg, what is dorm life like at Millbrook School?
It is two words to describe it: fun, family. Dorms, so we have 9 different dorms on our campus. We are actually breaking ground on a new boys dorm that will open in the 26-27 school year right now, and which is really, really exciting. The boys need a little love here on campus. The girls' dorms have been built and renovated over the last 10 years, and so the next 10 years will be all about the boys. We're really proud of our dorm communities. So every dorm has a slightly different feel to it, and they have different dorm parents and different communities, and many of the dorms were built at different times. And so the physical structures of each dorms create different communities. So there's one dorm on campus that has, it's quite small. Girls live in it right now. The rooms are big. They're triples, and they all have their own private bathroom. And so that's kind of creates a real family style environment there. I mean, true, like tight-knit family style. Or you can live in, one of our oldest dorms, Case Hall, which has up to 50 boys in it in a given year, and it is legendary here on campus as being just fun, vibrant, and sort of a rite of passage, really, truly, in terms of its experience on campus for the boys here at Millbrook. So each dorm functions a little differently. One thing I will point out that maybe we're probably not the only school that does this, but it is something I think we do really, really well. And as a point of difference for us is that when you are on dorm duty, so every single night, 24/7, right? Every single night, there is a dorm parent on duty. But when you are on duty as a dorm parent at Millbrook, you sit right in the common room. you don't sit in your apartment with your door ajar and listen for sounds or have kids come knocking. You are right in the common room. You are in it with the kids. And so there's incredible mentorship, connection, bonding, right? And you'll see, believe it or not, a faculty member sitting there, kids will kind of flock into that space. And I'll walk in there doing rounds at night and just see, there'll be 10 kids sitting in a common room just talking or watching a show, watching a game, together with the dorm parent. And so that's where I talk about family, right? There's a real sense of family and connection in every dorm. And as I said, each dorm has its own sort of unique flavor of family and connection to it.
Very nice. And how about the meals on campus? Do they serve sit-down, buffet? Are they required? How does that work?
Sure. Yep. So we do 2 sit-down meals a week. So we do a sit-down advisor lunch. Half of those lunches are formal sit-down meals, so where there is a student waiter and you're served at the table, and the other half are informal sit-down meals. So your group sort of grab your own plate and sit together. So those happen on Tuesdays at lunch, and then on Thursday nights we do a formal seated meal. So you have formal dress. It's slightly different than class dress. It's a little bit more formal, of course. And Thursday nights are a really special night for community. And it's something that the kids talk about when we ask alum, what do you miss most? And they'll talk about Thursday night's program. So it starts off at about 5:45. We have our chapel speaker. So we have a chapel on campus. We are not religiously affiliated. It is a student speaker who gets up and just shares their experiences. There's some great chapel talks actually on our website. You can check it out at the millbrook.org and look at some of those, just sharing a message with the community, sharing something about themselves. From there, we head over to the dining hall together as a community, and we all sit, and the tables are randomized. And this is one of the things that the kids talk about. They love on Thursday afternoon when the formal dinner tables come out, because they love to open it up and see who they're sitting with, right? Who's the faculty member, who are the other kids, and it's randomized. Sometimes you have a friend, sometimes you know nobody. And so it's just kind of fun to plop down and see who you see and get to know some different kids, or maybe you get to reconnect with your old roommate from sophomore year. And it's one of those events, and every Thursday night walking home from that, my heart is just warmed of like, wow, what a fun, hour and a half I just spent, getting to know our community and getting to know our kids better. And in this kind of casual way, sharing a meal.
And certainly where probably a lot of new friends are formed.
Yes, absolutely. Tons of great connections are formed in that way. Yep.
So Meg, you referenced the sit-down advisor lunch. Can you share with our audience what the advisor system looks like at Millbrook School? Is it formed by dorms, by grade? Do you stay with the same advisor during your tenure? How does that work?
Sure. Yep. Your advisor is assigned to you. It's a faculty member who's assigned to you in your first year at Millbrook. So over the summer, sometime at the end of August, they'll give you a call and introduce themselves. We are pretty intentional about how we assign advisor and faculty pairings, because we want to make sure, this is your person, this is your advocate, this is your sort of go-to person for everything on campus. And the goal is that you stay with that person through your full Millbrook experience. You do have the opportunity to change. If at the end of the year you have really connected with a different faculty member, that's totally fine. And that's actually a good thing. Now you've had your freshman year advisor, and then your dorm parent from freshman year becomes your new advisor, and you stay with that person for 3 years. Well, now you have 2 people who know you and your family really well, and your family has 2 advocates right there on campus that support you. So that's never a bad thing. Our advisory groups are 1 to 6, so a very small ratio in the world of boarding schools, because these are supposed to be really tight-knit relationships. Every advisor, every advisee will form their own personal relationship. Some advisees need an advisor who is texting them regularly and say, hey, did you remember this? Or, I got a notification that you missed this class. What's going on today? Are you okay? And other advisor and advisees just need like a little bit more of a casual relationship where, see you at the game. How are things going? Kind of door is open. Come find me when you need me. Whatever that student needs, they're going to find an advisor whose style meets those needs.
And Meg, would you say, is there a typical Millbrook School student?
Oh, yeah, I get this question all the time. I always distill it to a couple of just core characteristics, right, that we
Okay.
are looking for, that we celebrate and that we see celebrated and sort of, shining here on campus. So kids who are open-minded, right, in this world where we are becoming hyper specialized, you know, I we actually do offer kids the opportunity to stay specialists, right? You come to Millbrook a great baseball player, you can stay a great baseball player and get Division I offers and do signing days. You can do that, right, and continue to play, in a club program outside of baseball. You can do that. We want you to do that, but you can't come to Millbrook with that level of specialization in baseball and not be interested in doing anything else, right? The best kids at Millbrook, if they have that interest, that talent level, great. We will help you, support you, and help you get to that next level. But you will be most successful if you are interested in doing other things here. So like playing a little JV basketball in the winter. Maybe going out for the a cappella group in the fall. Just getting involved in different ways. So kids who are open-minded is really important to us. I think kids who have ambition as students, right? And so that doesn't mean that a kid has to have perfect straight A's. We want kids who are curious and constantly want to learn and get better, right? Improving their station, from where they are at, right? And sort of see that growth and that evolution over time. That's hugely important to us. We had a student who had transferred to us from one of the 10 schools, and one of the things he talked about is over his time at Millbrook, he said, he spent 2 years there and 2 years with us. The way he saw himself and his classmates evolve at Millbrook felt really substantially different than what he saw at that other school, right? Because there was incredible growth here. And that's something that we love and celebrate. So ambition is really important. The last thing I would talk about is students who appreciate and are looking for adult mentorship. 330 students, faculty and staff, kind of all in over 100, maybe 120 folks here. That's a pretty good ratio of adults around you and here to support you. And so students who look for that mentorship and guidance and understand how to use that and feel supported by that rather than, compressed by that, those students are going to be fabulously successful here at Millbrook. It's not just your advisor whose door is always going to be open to you. I would say it's every faculty member. We talk about every student is known and needed. That's literally a part of our mission statement. It is something that we talk about when we are hiring faculty. We sit in faculty meeting over Thanksgiving and we quiz ourselves. Do we know the first and last name of every student's face? As we sort of click through, we'll create a Quizlet and click through it as a faculty. And that is not something for a faculty member to be judged upon externally. It is something for us internally to judge ourselves as a measure of, okay, how engaged are we in our community? How well are we doing our jobs? And we do really well. We do really, really well with that. It is not uncommon for a primarily ninth grade teacher to know a bunch of 11th graders and vice versa.
Very nice. So are there any cool traditions at Millbrook School that may be unique from other schools? Or perhaps there's that one tradition, Meg, you hope always remains part of the school?
Sure. Yeah. So there's a couple of great traditions. So one that's really unique to Millbrook is called marsh mucking. We are located on 800 acres. Our head of school terms this lovingly as just a little light environmental hazing. And so what we do in your first weekend on campus as a new ninth grader, you with your Saturday program leaders, so some of our most experienced faculty members, you put on some muddy tracksuit shoes and pants, and you literally go out into the marsh. You will be, depending on the rains, you might be thigh deep, you might be right up to your chest in the marsh, and you just quite literally go for a walk and see a couple of different sites and get a couple of cool different angles of campus. Again, 800 acres, forests, wetlands, mountains. There's so much actually to explore on our campus. So marsh mucking is super distinctive to Millbrook. Great story. One of our previous dean of students, he was driving down School Road, beautiful Sunday afternoon in May, right at the end of the school year, and he stopped because There was three seniors like marsh mucking out onto School Road. They had just gone in and started walking around, and he was like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" They were having a blast. They were just like, "We just want to do this before we left." So marsh mucking is a really fun and super unique tradition. My favorite tradition at Millbrook, and probably the most fun, is called Winter Weekend. We take a couple days off from school and are fully consumed on campus in dorm wars. And so each dorm has a color they're affiliated with. You wear that color morning, noon, and night for these almost 4 days, basically in a row, and you engage in, I think it's 9 different competitions across campus, and they try to hit different skill sets, right? There's a banner competition, so the art skill set, and there's trivia night and called College Bowl, so sort of your academic skill set. There's pillow polo and knocker ball, so all kind of hit the athletic skill set. The air band, the pep rally, those are my 2 favorite, and they're sort of large, choreographed, synchronized dance and pep rally routines, which are just hilarious and so much fun. It's a really fun weekend. It's the depths of the winter, and we just to sort of stop school and have some fun and just like play games and compete is amazing. And the other thing that's really great about it is the bonding that's going to happen in the dorm, and inevitably someone who's like the quietest new kid on campus breaks out and can do like a double back handspring, and the whole school goes wild and everybody's loving it and faculty get into it. It's really, we got a 14 to 18-year-olds here on campus, 330 of them. And to see them decked head to toe in a color, face painted, just going all out in a truly, sort of useless dorm war, doesn't have bearing on anything beyond Millbrook School, but to see like the heartfelt passion and pride demonstrated in a 17-year-old over this weekend, it's pretty heartwarming. It's pretty exciting.
And some awesome school spirit there.
Yes.
I was thinking marsh mucking. That's certainly a new one for me. An awesome opportunity, I'd say, for a school to take advantage of their local environment.
Absolutely. If you ever want to, Jeff, we'll get you out here.
Okay. So before we speak about admissions process, Meg, is there anything about the Millbrook School that we did not speak about or discuss yet that you'd like to mention?
Well, I hit on this a little bit, just community service. I will highlight here with this opportunity. So community service is one of our core values. Now, I think a lot of schools have service as a value, and they should. It's important, right? It's an essential component of good citizens, right? Folks that make the world a better place. The way we do service at Millbrook, it is not just something we do once over the course, during Earth Week or, during our service weekend. It's just in the water. It's just part of every conversation. You will hear about service in your classroom, in the dorms. We do have those big celebratory days that are built around, and weekends, right, built around service as well. As I mentioned, service is a 20 to 30 minute block 4 times a week during the academic day, right? It is so important we create time for it at the same time that we create for our academic classes, right? It is truly one of our largest values. And for me, it is the secret sauce to what creates a strong community at Millbrook, right? As a member of this community, when you are told from day one, leave it better than you found it, what kind of an impact are you having here, right? Those questions are being asked of you from day one. You are bound to get involved, be connected, give back, feel a sense of ownership and pride, right? So many incredible social emotional benefits, growth benefits, right? Responsibility, right? Accountability that are built by taking on leadership and serving your community, right? So it's truly the secret to our sauce of building this tight-knit community that we have here at Millbrook. And it is our end goal too, right? So we think about who our kids are when they are 15 and 25 and 35 and beyond, right? And if they are people, and our alumni still talk about this, they are people who look at the world and think about, well, how am I going to make my mark? How am I going to give back, right? How am I, I'm a member of this community. It could be your work community. It could be your, physical community, like where your home is located. And if you're the type of person who's going to get involved and give back, you build community, right? You build a better community. So we think that is essential to the type of young people that we send out into the world.
Very nice. So, Meg, if someone's interested in this Millbrook School community and starting the admissions process, how might they go about beginning it?
Sure. Just send me an email. We'll get you started.
Okay.
We operate, of course, we operate on our tradition, the fairly traditional within the New England boarding schools. The cycle will start up at the end of September each year. Whether it's your 8th graders or 9th graders, whoever is applying, end of September of the year that you are applying, give us a call, send us an email. You can actually do a little bit of booking online as well, and set up a campus visit. Your campus visit tour and interview with the admissions team. It's super important to us that we get to know you. It is still a really personalized process where colleges are, moving away from that. We are leaning into that. It's super important to us to get in front of you. And if you can be on campus, that is the best. We do offer Zoom interviews. We do offer off-campus interviews as well, especially for our folks who are trying to get to campus from really far away, and we'll make ourselves available and accessible to you. Then as far as the physical application is concerned, we use the SAO application, so the standard application online. We are test optional at this time, and our goal with our application process is to not inundate you and put more on your plate. I mean, the most important thing is your interview and your teacher recommendations and your transcripts, right? And so we feel that the more time you spend away from classes, the more time you spend, out of touch with your classroom teachers because you're studying for X, Y, or Z placement exams, or coming to visit us, right? That hurts your performance in the classroom. And so that's what we're really interested to see. So we want to make that process pretty seamless for you. That you do have to put some energy into it. Please put some really good thought into it. This is a statement of who you are and what you're looking for. So please be intentional in your engagements with us, but we don't want it to be all consuming. The applications due January 15th. If you're applying for financial aid, we use the Clarity portal, which is really user friendly. It should take no more than 20 minutes and you can do it from your mobile phone. And then that's also due January 15th. We will release decisions on March 10th, and we'll expect families to confirm their decisions by April 10th. The other thing I would say, your initial campus visit for a tour and an interview, we'll set that up. That's essential. But if you want to come back, see a game, see a show, meet with a coach, or maybe pop into a class, I mean, those are always experiences that we're open and want to help you create. And so we'll make ourselves available and give you as many resources as you need to learn about Millbrook.
Very nice. And Meg, what is the school's website address?
www.millbrook.org.
Perfect. Easy enough. Millbrook.org. Well, Meg, this is great. I've enjoyed our conversation, learning more about Millbrook School and sharing with our audience. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Me too. Thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate the opportunity. And thanks to all who are listening.
Meg Grover, Director of Admission, Millbrook School in Millbrook, New York.
Thank you for listening to the Why Boarding School podcast. We look forward to you joining us for our next episode. Please remember to subscribe to the Why Boarding School podcast and help us spread the word. Until next time.